Rolling Hops Beer Tours is a historic craft beer tour company created by Andy and myself, Garrett, in November 2018, and we highlight the craft breweries in the area. A great thing about it is that there's a historic component to the tours.
So along with the actual visits to the brewery, you as a guest will experience some of the eclectic, kind of off the beaten path neighborhoods of the city that we really value and we see an appreciation for, not only for its historic component, for its historic significance, but also for its relation and connection to beer and the art of brewing itself.
Andy and I started Rolling Hops Beer Tours for a number of different things. One, it emphasizes both of our passions. So mine being craft beer, Andy's being history. And I would, on the weekends, I'd go around to a different area of Toronto, someplace I'd want to explore and really just find out which craft breweries are in the area, go taste all these fantastic creations by each brewery, why they made it. That was really a passion of mine. So, we thought we could do this and really highlight that for everyone else. This is something we really wanted everyone to experience. We were experiencing it as local Torontonians day in, day out, but everyone might not decide to do that on their time off on the weekends. So we really wanted to showcase that and really bring it to the masses.
Absolutely. We really wanted to take both tourists and individuals who want to explore the city more. We wanted to take them out of sort of the generic locations in downtown Toronto and get them a little bit off the beaten track, so to explore the real eclectic, awesome neighborhoods that we really value and really, like Garrett said, give an authentic Torontonian experience that he and I both value here in the city.
So the tour is, we call it an experience because it is really a holistic craft beer experience with a healthy injection of Toronto history. Like many different tours out there, you have a guide that takes you through a certain area and will explain different things. The things that we explain are the craft breweries of the area that we go to, as well as the history of the area or the specific neighborhood that we're exploring. So Andy and I, we take like a really hands-on approach to these tours. It's very interactive, it's educational. We encourage conversation and questions and a really good time. So, it's not like we're going to be sitting there talking at you for 4 hours or so and you just go along your way and drink beer. No, we take the beer, we enjoy it, we talk about it. On top of that, there's that historical component, like I mentioned. So Andy touches on a lot of the historical points from in between each brewery.
So a really valuable aspect of our tour itself is obviously an amazing part of the tour are our brewery locations. You get to learn so much about the craft of brewing, Toronto specifically, original and unique beers. But also along the way, we give you such a rich experience of the actual neighborhood itself. So when you walk from brewery to brewery, you get to experience the neighborhoods. We talk about different kind of key components that are affecting the city, like gentrification, rising real estate costs, how that's really changing and affecting our city. So it's really I really like what Garrett said, that it's really not just a tour itself, it's really an educational experience.
The customer base that enjoys a Rolling Hops craft beer tour is anyone over 19, naturally, because you need to be of age to drink the beer along the way. But on top of that, you can bring your kids along. It's really a wholesome family experience at each of these brewery spots. So kids are certainly welcome. I guess a lot of our customer base would be people visiting the city who haven't normally been here, kind of take you outside the realm of the hot spots like the CN Tower and Ripley's Aquarium, and those things are fantastic. But to really give you an experience of the true Torontonian life, take you off the beaten path a little bit. Anyone from tourists to people visiting the city just from outside, province or country, those work. And people who just want something different to do in the weekends. They kind of get out of the regular, rigmarole of the normal things you do in the week and try something different. And it's a walking tour, so we take you through the city by hand, and that's usually the best way to experience it. So those are some of the people that usually join our tour.
Absolutely. I think something that's really important too is we get this question a lot is, do I have to know a lot about beer? Do I have to be a huge beer fan? to participate in your tour? And the answer is absolutely not. So we appeal to the diehard craft beer fans, obviously, because we actually kind of get into some really specific information about different types of craft beers and how they're changing and evolving constantly. So for the big craft beer connoisseurs, it's an amazing experience. But we also touch on the basics. We really take each individual back into the history of beer and really start from square one, and really give an experience that's really gives quite a spectrum of one's knowledge in beer. So it's really an amazing experience, no matter what knowledge you're bringing into the day.
Absolutely.
We add history to our tours really to give some extra flavor to the tour itself. So we both love beer, we're both avid beer connoisseurs, but we also wanted to throw in a little bit more of an educational experience, which really comes in an amazing sort of package with the breweries itself and the historic component.
Absolutely. A lot of the breweries in the area are really historically tied to the history, so it makes sense to have that aspect in the tour. So what I love about craft beer the most is probably the community. I always like to call it community beer as opposed to craft beer, because the craft breweries in the industry, they do so much more than just brew beer. You know, they're a part of the community. They host events, they have fundraisers, and they're always really bringing parts of the community together in many different ways. And you know, a big way is obviously going for a pint of some good beer that they brew, but a lot of that is community events. Partaking in the community, making sure that everyone has a great time, and that's kind of portrayed through the craft beer that they brew. After you signed up for our tour, usually we're in contact with you, within 24 to 48 hours. We let you know the itinerary. We meet up at a local spot where it's easy to get to, a TTC station or a Meiji intersection, and then we make our way to the first stop. It usually includes about 3 to 4 breweries. In between each brewery, we talk about the history on the way. Everyone gets to sample beers at each stop. You also get to go behind the scenes, depending on availability of the brewers, and really see how it's made with all the equipment. And there's also a snack provided along the way. The tours usually last about 4.5 hours in duration, and we finish off at the last brewery stop. We've structured it like this, and obviously it's a walking tour so that you really get to experience the neighborhood that we're in and each of the breweries in its fullest form. So you can find us at our website, rollinghopsbeertours.com. Also on all our social media channels. What are we on?
We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. You can find us on all 3.
Perfect. Yep. Give us a look. You can check out all our tour dates for the summer. Come along with us. You'll have a great time. We can almost guarantee it. Everyone else, has come along, and we've had a fantastic time. Good friends, good time, good beer, great history, and enjoy a great craft beer experience with Rolling Hops Beer Tours.